Welcome, collectors. Kyle the Collector here. We have Dark Phoenix just coming out here in 2019. Written and directed by Simon Kinberg, who also did Last Stand, and this is basically the same movie. We have different deaths, and it has a cosmic kind of feel to it instead of the Cure, and that's about the only difference. Barely any Quicksilver, which is a shame because I would have loved to see them explore that whole Magneto Quicksilver connection, but here we have the man himself, my favorite actor to represent this villain of the X-Men. Okay, we have Ian McKellen as Magneto. So there's some pictures to remind you of him in that role, and here is the figure. Okay, this figure is probably the best X-Men figure you can get from one of the movies, and definitely the rarest. Okay, so this is so rare, it's almost like it doesn't even exist. So the original movie did have their own X-Men figure, and it was trash. It didn't look anything like Ian McKellen. It had no articulation, and they made tons of them. When it came time for the X-Men 2 movie, X2, they decided, let's barely make any Magneto figures, because I guess nobody wants them. Well, we don't want them if they're trash, but if they look this good, people go crazy about them. So let's take a look here. Turning it around, you can see the back. Everything pretty much as detailed as you would want. You can move his arms all about, his legs, very articulated, as you would expect to find in a Marvel Legends figure. The likeness is very good. It looks just like Ian McKellen. Probably the best representation of him in a figure in this scale. Okay, so let's take a closer look. Here is the back of him. The cape, everything's colored correctly. But just look at that face. That's Ian McKellen for sure. Whereas, like I said, in the X-Men 1 movie, it could have been anybody. So everything swivels like you would want. He's got hinges there on his toes, in case you want to really pose him any which way. Usually I'm not a fan of those, but on the black boots, you don't really see those hinges, so it doesn't bother me at all. But there again, there's the face. Just such a good likeness. I mean, the hair, even like any moles on his forehead, the wrinkles. This thing, they should have made tons of these so that anybody who wanted one could get it. I mean, he's a main villain. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they just thought because he's an older actor, no one would want it. I don't know. But only things I can say about it is you can see these black joints in his hands. He does have these like pegs on his hands that are pretty noticeable. And his hands are kind of huge for him. I don't think Ian McKellen has hands that big in relation to the rest of his body. So maybe not proportionate, but oh well. The helmet though. Usually those helmets that slip on heads of figures can look huge. This one does not, to me. It looks like it does in the movie. It's a great color, that purple burgundy kind of color, black on the inside. So it looks like this Fox franchise for the X-Men movies for now is gone. So hopefully they can, like the Phoenix, rise from the ashes in a few years with Disney taking control. These are the stands I used. They are Kaiser brand, 20 SMB on the left. The one on the right is a smaller scale. It just is known as the 5.5 inch figure stand. Those 5.5 inch stands are good for female characters because they are smaller stands.